Welcome to We Geek Podcast. Today is Wednesday, July 21st. We're going to flip things up a little bit today. I am Logan, joined as always by my good friend Adam.
What's up, man? And let me first apologize about my voice. Oh my God, why we haven't recorded in weeks now. I got sick, but fear not, it wasn't COVID. Thank God. But nonetheless, it took out my voice, which had me worried. Because like when it started happening, I started thinking, oh God, is this COVID? Immediately had a sore throat. Went to the doctor, got it as taken care of as much as I could. I had to see like an allergy doctor as well. It sounds terrible right now, but a week ago it was worse than that. 2 weeks ago I didn't even have my voice. So
Yeesh.
yeah, so it's every day it's progressing and getting better because I'm coughing less and less, and I figured we could do an episode. It doesn't have to be too long, it doesn't have to, I don't have to talk too much, but I figured, yeah, let's get back into it. I think it's a good time. There's tons to talk about.
Yeah, it's true. We had trailers. We've got we've got a decent bit of movie news. Finally, we're getting back into things. But so while you've had all of this tremendously fun sounding time off, what have you been up to?
I've been playing a ton of Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I've been gambling like crazy at the Golden Saucer. In game, of course, there's no real money being spent, but I've gotten lost at that place for like a week now.
That's the point of it.
Yeah, it is so much fun. Me and my friends hop in there and we just do mini game after mini game. I want to get the turtle after you get like 200 credits. The turtle mount. What else have I been playing? I have been playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay.
So when my friends aren't on Discord and we're not doing multiplayer, usually MMOs, I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3, and it is so much fun. I've never played D&D, so I've only kind of been on the outside looking in.
Right.
Like peering in the window, desperately wanting to play, but it's hard, especially the last year. You can't see anybody, can't do anything. So I've been watching a ton of videos on YouTube and Twitch, everything from Critical Role to Matt Colville and like all these D&D people. I figured, hey, Baldur's Gate 3, I know it's not out yet. It's a early access, so you get the first act. But every video I watched was like, I've spent 200 hours in the game. And I'm like, how is that possible? So I gave it a shot, and it is a ton of fun. It is straight up D&D. You roll on everything. You open up a door, you roll the dice. You go to attack something, you do this, you do that. It is just, it's so awesome that they got the license, and there's so much D&D stuff in there, so much lore stuff. But yeah, I'm having a blast with that. I pre-ordered New World. Have you heard of this game?
That's Amazon's MMO, right?
It's Amazon's MMO, yeah, and it's huge. I think like 200,000 people pre-ordered it on Steam. Yes, or within whatever time period. I just saw the news on that. It looks like a ton of fun. I saw like all the major streamers are playing it. Everyone from Asmon, who does MMOs, to like Tim the Tapman, who does first-person shooters. And man, everything I looked at, I was like, and what's great is there's no fee. So you pay $40 and you play it. Apparently they took out a lot of the stuff people complained about, like XP boosts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully I'll play that soon. I'm waiting on the email. But yeah, I spent yesterday watching a lot of that. I had some friends playing it in Discord, and that looks like a ton of fun. So that's basically it. I haven't really I hopped in WoW to hang out with some friends, but Final Fantasy is where it's at. And it's big, dude. Did you see that it sold out?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know it didn't last long, but just the fact that they ran the story of like, so you can't buy Final Fantasy 14 anymore, it's sold out. Like, it's an MMO. Uh,
it's wild.
it's insane.
A couple days after Asmongold did his stream, he had over
Yep.
200,000 people watching. That's when it sold out. So like, it's crazy how much these streamers can have pull in the industry. Uh, it's wild to see
It's
right now on Twitch.
Yeah, it's the kind of clout that Instagram influencers and stuff want to think that they have,
It's true.
and sometimes do, but not to this extent. No, because like I was vaguely familiar with Asman, and just in the fact that like, oh, he's the WoW guy. That was the
Yeah.
extent of my knowledge about it. He had a big fan base and he's the WoW guy. Okay, cool. And then he got kind of disillusioned with WoW, and then he went to 14 and was like, "Damn, this is
Mhm.
really good," and started streaming 14, and everybody went with him, and it was
Yeah.
just madness. Like, holy hell!
Yeah, he is having a blast. Rich Campbell, who was a commentator for Blizzard for years, he did the play-by-play commentary. He got let go like a year ago, and he's friends with Asman. He's jumped to 14 as well, and just everyone surrounding that. And people thought they were not going to like it because of the setting, the aesthetic, or whatever, and they are having more fun. Like I've watched their streams when they play WoW. I've never seen them have this much fun with a
Wow,
game.
damn.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it's so it's yeah, and like you said, the type of influence that is, they really are moving people from one game to another. And it's not like they quit WoW. They still love WoW. They want WoW to be better. And as long as I've talked about WoW and I've played WoW, every once in a while a game comes around and they call it the WoW killer. The Old Republic was that, right? Rift was that. There was a ton of games that was that, and it never actually happened.
Yeah,
And now WoW has fumbled so many times; it's its own worst enemy.
yeah. They can't get out of their own way.
They can't. And Final Fantasy has just what do they say the definition of luck is persistence and the right timing,
It's
and that's what they did.
yeah. It's persistence and preparation.
Exactly, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. They just kept getting better and better and better. And now there's just people are really enjoying it. Me and my friends are having a blast with it right now. I'm samurai now. I've gotten Heaven's Sword. I'm having a blast with the story's really picked up. And then I got lost at the casino because it's fun. Yeah, so dude, it's never been a better time to play MMOs, I think.
Yeah.
There's tons coming up like Ashes of Creation, which is really good. But yeah, dude, it's been a fun couple of weeks.
It's
Well, besides me being sick, but
right.
playing that, yeah.
It's been so crazy to watch WoW be that guy on the wide world of sports for everybody who's old like us, or just how many internet memes of like, this is the guy running the race and trips over his own stupidity. Like,
Yeah,
it's they've done it to themselves, and
they
here
have.
comes 14, who just kept running the race and kept running the race and just goes right on by him. And I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
WoW will get back up at some point and come back. Like, they're not we're not gonna sit here and be like, oh my god, WoW is dead. No, it will be fine. It's
yeah,
WoW, for God's sake. But
right.
it's really it's I'm happy for Square Enix, and I'm
Hmm.
happy as hell for that team, in particular, because if you go back and watch any conference those guys have done in the last, what, decade or so,
Hmm.
however long this has been happening, these guys are just pure joy
Yeah.
wrapped up in a bundle of game devs. Like, they're having as much fun making the game as people are playing it, and that's the dream, really.
Yeah, and you can really tell, like, especially with Asmon, when he started streaming, people were harassing him. They were jumping all over the place. They were trying to ruin his experience. And he says on stream, like, there's nothing that can be done. I just have to ignore it. This sucks. Every MMO I've played, this is what happens because of my following. I've just come to accept it. And the next day, a lot of those people were banned. They were banned for a week or 2 weeks or however long it was,
Yeah.
and told you're banned for harassment. And that was such a shock and surprise because that doesn't happen in Warcraft. I think that it's known that the devs do not like Asmon. They call him a man-child, all sorts of things, instead of listening to him. Like, it's not just him either. Bellular, Preach. There's a lot of people that have basically told the devs, here are the problems. We want the game to be better, and it's like they're on a high horse and they can't take any kind of criticism. And yeah, so it's such a night and day difference when he goes over to Final Fantasy, how the devs treat him. And he doesn't get any special treatment or anything like that. He just wants to play like anyone else.
Exactly.
And he knows that comes with people following him around, as long as they're not getting in the way, as long as they're not going out of the way to make it so that he can't play. He doesn't care. But it was such a night and day difference with how they responded to him, that how WoW has responded to him, and it shows too. It's been crazy to watch.
Yeah. No, that's what's fantastic. Like it's really it's got it, and it also had to be a bit of a shock to see, a dev taking that kind of action. Like that must have freaked people out. Of like, oh my god, these people pay attention and want their game to be a positive experience. What the hell is it?
They want it to be fun, absolutely. And I was listening to, because they have a podcast called Allcraft, and I was listening to them. They talk with Bellular. Bellular, if you're not familiar with Bellular, he is the World of Warcraft news guy on YouTube. He's the biggest content creator on YouTube for like Warcraft news. So weekly, he does podcasts weekly, he does episodes, he does lore stuff. And he finally got on the show with them, and they talked about how for so long, when Warcraft started, the people that were making the game were passionate about it, extremely passionate about it. Chris Metz and all those guys. All of those guys are gone. They're all gone. Ian is probably the only one left, and Ian got his start because it's funny. He was almost like Asmongold. Ian is notoriously known for when he played EverQuest, and he would write the devs, fix this is broken. He was a player. He was in the forums before before anything. So he got to start with Blizzard. Now he's basically in charge of Warcraft. Well, everyone else is gone. All of the people that you could tell cared about it are gone. The people that are there now are not the same. And they have they talked around it because they can't say who they've talked to or anything like that.
Right.
But the idea is that the people there now despise people like Asmon, and they treat the game as a 9-to-5 job. I'm working on the biggest franchise in the world, and now we have to do what Activision says. Now we have to implement the things Activision says. Oh, 9.1 hit. The coolest mount in the game is something you get if you have a 6-month sub or if you purchase it from the store. That's the mentality, instead of, hey, how about we make the best mount in the game something obtainable in the game by players who are dedicated to it, and we put some cool ones on the store if people want to purchase it. But no, the big daddy's going to be the one you earn in the game, right? Like, that's the difference, how they used to do it and how they do it now. So, and Final Fantasy has store-bought mounts. It has all kinds of crazy things. So it's not even the only, whatever, but it really feels that they've just, what's the phrase, rested on their laurels. They've gotten by so long being the top dog, feeling they don't have to listen to anybody. And now, the power's in the people. What was GameStop phrase? The power's in the players. They're moving to another game in vast numbers. For example, this week, a patch hit in Final Fantasy, where now if you're idle for 30 minutes, they log you out. It used to be you just stayed in the game, but now there's so many people playing it, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
That's how massive it is. So.
Oh, well.
Yeah, good. I'm happy. I'm happy they're listening, and this kind of competition, is hopefully going to make it best for everybody. So hopefully we get more better Warcraft down the road, but we'll see. It's been really fun watching Final Fantasy, and the expansion comes out in like a couple months in
Yeah,
November. So
it's in November. Yeah, I need to get back into it. I've been, I've been a shade busy the last couple of weeks.
oh yeah,
Anybody listen? Anybody who's listening to this, I give you full permission. Tell them Logan sent you. If somebody utters anything resembling the phrase "movie theaters are dead," smack them, please,
right.
because they're stupid.
Yeah.
between
So tell me
between
about it, dude.
between F9 and Black Widow and Space Jam, like just oh hell, it's been
Yeah.
they're back. Movies are back, so movie
Mhm.
theaters are back. That's all we were ever missing was movies, and we understood that when we first reopened, um, almost a year ago now. There was
Oh
just
wow.
nothing out, so we were just kind of hanging in there, because I mean that was just it. But with uh, it started with Tom and Jerry back in February, and
Mm.
it because it popped, and we were not ready for that. We were not ready at all for Tom and Jerry to hit like it did, and then and that's something else. Don't tell me that streaming is killing movie theaters. Is it dinging the like follow-up week business? Yeah, to an extent. The slightly less well-known NATO, the National Association of Theater Owners, put out a whole big statement this week blasting Disney because Black Widow being on Disney Plus Premier Access caused its second week drop off, and it's killing theater profits and this and that. And that's inside of the outrage is a halfway valid point because they're not entirely wrong. Yes, the second week fall off is going to be attributed, and a lot of it is also because of piracy. Because with it being on Disney Plus Premier Access, as happened with everything else they put on Disney Plus and Disney Plus Premier Access, it makes it infinitely easier to obtain, you know, regular quality copies to put out on
Oh yeah.
on torrent sites and all that, as
Oh
opposed to
yeah.
before where it had to be cams and then you waited 4 or 5 months until it came out on Blu-ray and then you would pirate the Blu-ray. Now you have a pristine digital copy. Yes, it's having an impact. I'm not going to sit here and say this is not impacting the industry. We all know otherwise, but they went beyond overboard with the whole thing of with how much it's killing profits for theaters and how much it's destroying business and this and that. They took a point where they could have said, "Hey, this is having a negative impact on us and we need to make this known." They decided instead to light their hair on fire and run around waving things saying Disney's evil, the end is nigh, essentially.
Mm.
And my biggest problem is none of these people actually work in the theaters that they represent and know what the hell's going on, so they need to shut up because we are still getting absolutely hammered, largely because much like any other business on the planet, including the pizza place that I work at, they're just not paying people. They're not paying people. They're crunching down on labor, so we have fewer people working more hours to an extent because you can't work too many hours because then you might hit overtime, and that's if you so much as utter the word overtime in businesses anymore, the thought police come by and throw a Hannibal Lecter mask on you because that's just horrible. Why do we have overtime? That's a whole other story at the pizza place. That's a cluster. But they want all these people to work X amount of hours, but the problem is that makes lines. And we don't have gigantic lines, even though it looks like, oh my God, there's so many people here. There's really not. But that's the perception. And we've
Yeah.
had people come in and we look and they look at it and they just go, yeah, there's like 4 or 5 people over there and that's it.
Hmm.
And there's all these people in this line. I'm just gonna go home and watch this on HBO Max.
Oh yeah.
Like that's I would put it to them that is something that if they addressed and actually decided to quite literally put their money where their mouth is, the movie going experience would improve and people would keep coming back, and more people would return. Now, at the end
Oh,
of the
yeah.
day, yes, that's not going to solve the problem with streaming, but they've lost that battle. They can rant rail all they want. That fight is done. These companies are going to do what they're going to do because that's the business model now. It's how it is, and they're not going to come back from that. They've lost that front, so they need to focus on what they can fix, which is treating their employees better, and in doing
Hmm.
so, make them more invested in creating a better guest service experience so that people will then come back to the movies. Because even if you love going to the movies, and I've had this happen in a theater before when I lived in Florida. It didn't happen in Orlando. It happened when I was living in Sarasota, where there was a theater that I used to love going to all the time, and then a couple of times I went there, and the people were trash. Like it was just bad, and that's kind of hard to do at a theater, but they were just awful. And I was like, all right, I'll go somewhere else then, and I did not go back. But that's something they can address. That's something they can fix. That's something that'll cost them a little bit of money that they'll then recoup in the long run. But they're only going to look at the short term issue and say, "Oh, nope, can't do it." So, hooray for capitalism.
Yeah.
But instead of this is the way they get the sympathy and the headlines, and they get to stoke more fire for their fight against streaming services, which they've already lost. Like they're done. Disney Plus Premier Access, day and date on HBO Max. These are things that are solid. And I know Warner Brothers next year is not going to do day and date HBO Max, so they have said. They may yet change that again.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you,
Well,
it hasn't dented that opening weekend. Movies opening weekend, people still show out. Space Jam, we were packed. We sold out shows for Space Jam on Friday, even though it's available to stream for what's HBO Max, $15.99 a month, $11.99 a month, one of those.
mm,
People showed out. Like we sold it out. We had to scramble and throw it in another house at the end of the night because we put it in one of our biggest theaters, and it sold the hell out. We were not projected for that. I don't know why. It's a kids movie. It's school's still out. It's LeBron James. It was going to sell, but I guess they were counting on, well, it's not going to be as good as the first one, so people won't show up. And boy, they showed up. They
kids love
they
LeBron James, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and I don't know who forgot that along the way, but we do what they
He's
tell us, and then when they're wrong, what do we hear? Oh, hey, by the way, we screwed up the booking. Nah, we hear nothing.
he's got a skin in Fortnite. He's gonna sell tickets.
Yeah, yeah, he is. And if there was anything that we learned from Tom and Jerry, it's that established things are still a draw. Even
Oh
if
yeah.
even if it doesn't seem like they should be, there was no reason for Tom and Jerry to have been as busy as it was back in February, but it was.
Yeah.
But people show out, man, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. I mean, in the next, I looked at the schedule yesterday for the rest of the year. I'm going to be curious to see what Snake Eyes does this weekend, because that's the first one that I think is going to be a test of, do people really care? Because
Well,
let's be honest about this for a second. Yes, people are familiar with GI Joe as a concept. People are like, oh yeah, that was the army guy action figure. That wasn't the green one. But how? But tell me the truth. How many people do you honestly think are going to show out for a spin-off movie, even though it's about the ninja? And that's the only reason they pick Snake Eyes, is because people could look at GI Joe and go, man, ninjas are cool. And so they made a movie about the ninja. That was what they did. That was the entire thought process behind why they did this movie. I guarantee you. But how many people are really going to show out?
yeah,
I
I don't think many. For Snake Eyes, see, that's the problem is, uh, this is one of those films where I don't think it would do good normally. Um, uh, People know what GI Joe is,
Yeah.
but you don't have The Rock in this. You don't have You don't have Channing Tatum. You don't have those people that were in the other ones. And it's such a niche of a niche. I I don't know. I don't know how this would do great in streaming. This is the kind of movie that I think would be, you hear is on Netflix, but I don't know. It's not like, it's not like as popular as like Black Widow, for example. She's been an Avenger. She's been in these giant movies for so long, where Snake Eyes is this quiet ninja that was in a couple movies, and then of course everyone had the toy as a kid. So I don't know. I That's hard to say.
Yeah. I don't see it being a whole big thing. I really don't. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we'll find out. But I I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be. I think this is gonna be a week to catch our breath. I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I would have loved a Snake Eyes miniseries like on Netflix.
yeah,
That
see,
would have been cool.
I think that would have been a much cooler way to go about
Yeah,
doing this.
exactly.
A movie it'll be fun, it'll be big spectacle, it'll be action, etc., what have you. But
Hmm.
it's not, and I enjoy Henry Golding. I think he's really going to be good. I don't think there's going to be anything necessarily wrong or bad about this movie. I just don't think it's going, like, if this was a movie that came out the year after a new GI Joe movie, it would do so much better.
Oh, true. Absolutely. Yeah, it's been years. But who knows? I mean, maybe Mojo Raleigh makes us want to keep coming back to it
Yeah.
since he's in it. Good for him, though. Good for him. I think that's cool.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, hell
That's
yeah, man.
fair. But I mean, Retaliation was 2013.
Yeah.
Like,
See, that's the
that's
thing.
it's been 8 years.
It's not like, for example, I think Bumblebee had a way better shot at its own movie than Snake Eyes. Does that make sense?
Well, because we'd had Transformers movies,
Now, see,
fairly
this would have been
recently.
cool. Exactly, exactly. Now, it would have been cool if this was the first movie that combined those universes. Like,
Yeah.
like if this was for whatever reason the gateway into that. Who knows? Maybe there's an after credit scene where Bumblebee shows up, but that would be more interesting to me. The Transformer stuff than the GI Joe, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. It would. I mean, you're not wrong. It would be interesting. I'm not holding my breath for that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see why they don't. Like, it's in the same companies are making
Well,
them, right?
because, and I mean, they've talked about it. Like,
Right,
they've
right, right.
they've they've talked about having that kind of crossover, sort of mixed up universe.
Yeah,
And I I don't, we'll see. I don't know,
yeah. Oh yeah.
but we'll find out. I guess we'll find out. Next
Hmm.
week is gonna be, I think, another pop with Jungle Cruise, because it's Disney, it's The Rock, it's an adventure movie. That
Yep,
is a Jungle Cruise is a grandparents and grandkids movie.
yep.
That's exactly the way I look at that, because that's your target audience, and it's everyone in between. That's because kids want to go see it because The Rock. Oh my god. And grandparents look at it and they think of old, the old kind of adventure film that they don't really make much anymore. That kind of Indiana Jones ish sort of style film. That the
Hmm.
that pulp kind of movie. They don't do a lot of those anymore. So I
It's weird that they don't, especially like with the rise of Dungeons and Dragons.
right.
Like, why is there not an adventure film like that? Because that's kind of what it is, right? They're just going on an adventure in the jungle or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're absolutely right. It's bizarre.
Hollywood, man. Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, it is. They hedge their bets on all the established franchises and things that'll make money, and
Hmm.
there are a couple a couple Hollywood business centric podcasts to listen to from time to time, and they'll tell you, these studios set up their big tent poles, their big franchises, and then any sort of spin-offs or anything they're developing aside from that, and then what do they have left? Maybe a couple open slots, maybe. And it's because why take risks when these things are guaranteed to make money?
Right.
And
Exactly.
from a business standpoint, sure, it makes sense. But from a creative standpoint, it is the most frustrating thing on the planet.
Yep.
But
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It'll with the rise of streaming and the breadth of options and the idea of originals. I know we had Netflix originals, and we have Hulu and HBO Max originals, and so on and so on, Disney Plus originals. I hope that means we'll start seeing a wider swath of creativity to cut. And here's their own platform. They can take more chances this way. They're not going to take giant chances. They're not suddenly going to put a $200 million blockbuster out as an original because Marco Polo did so well for Netflix. But
Hey, I liked Marco Polo.
from you and everybody else who has watched it that I've heard from is it was really good, but it cost hella money to make.
Oh yeah.
And that's you don't see that kind of return of investment unless it's in box office receipts.
Yeah.
You can't build something like that just for a streaming service. But I think that we should in theory see the return of that sort of mid-range budget movie that we just haven't had for the last 10 years maybe. Those kind of $40 million comedies or rom-coms or just adult centered dramatic films. We don't have them anymore, and we haven't
Yeah.
for a while. And I know that comedy is a mixed bag. But I mean,
Well, the middle of the road movies, I think, are unfortunately kind of going away. You have the indies, and then you have the big blockbusters, and you're either going to make a smaller budget film that's going to be great for critics, or you're going to make the thing that is going to make a lot of money. Because anything in between is a failure, it seems like.
yeah, even though so many of those movies, the biggest problem was that they burst their own bubble. They made too many of them at once, and so they stopped making money. And then and they did the market knee-jerk course correction of, oh, okay, well then we can't do any of those anymore because they lose money. No, you just can't do 27 of them in the same month.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But we get one or two of them every once in a while, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not so good. But that's the business. That's the game. They're not all going to be home runs. But I think that studios, especially like Sony and Universal, that have Spider-Man is making Sony money hand over fist, and all the spin-offs therein, which we could say what we want about whether or not Venom was good or great or bad or terrible. It made bank.
Oh yeah.
Carnage is gonna make bank. So take some of that money and take $40 million and do another one of these. Like somebody try to find the next How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, because that is a rom-com that everybody keeps going back to because it's just it's one of my favorites, and it's one of those that anybody you talk to is like, oh yeah, I like that. But you don't think about it. It's not on the top of everybody's watch list. But you bring it up, and I don't know anybody that just out and out is like, oh god, no, I hated that movie.
Or like 10 Things I Hate About You.
Exactly. Just there's these little movies that were just around, and we all watched them, and we all liked them, and we all remember liking them. But they don't make those anymore. And I know that's been a refrain for the last however long, but I bring it back now because we have these blockbusters that are making so much money. F9 for Universal made crazy money. Every one of these studios has their franchise that just keeps churning out, just keeps making money.
Yeah, that was one I wanted to see in the theater, but once I started coughing, I can't, even though I don't have COVID, I can't be in public.
Yeah, no, you're gonna get those looks.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh shit, get out of here!" So, yeah.
But I And I'm looking at, the trailers that we had come out over the last, week or whatever, and it's franchises and sequels, or it's, what used to be just art house films,
Mhm.
but now they're the hyped up indie movies, which is in a way not what an indie movie is. Like
Right, right.
I can't explain it properly, but you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. It it is what it is, I guess.
Hmm.
But let's let's talk about some of the trailers that we had this week. We speak as I keep talking about, make different movies. So we got Jackass Forever got a trailer, and it it looks like Jackass. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
If you're into Jackass, you're probably gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, I am not particularly interested. I was more of a Nitro Circus fan over Jackass. But it's, there's this as sort of a button on the franchise, because this will be the
Yeah,
last thing, like, no doubt,
yeah.
and it'll
They
be,
they they know their audience is older now,
yeah,
and it's one of those. I loved how they marketed it. They were like, "It's been a long time. How long has it been since you've been around your friends to do something like that?"
yeah,
Um, it's true. I mean, most of the people that enjoy Jackass are old now. They have kids. They're not thinking about any of that. That's maybe nowhere near their radar, and it's kind of like, we'll come back for one more time.
yeah.
Um,
It's
yeah,
this no, they have marketed this really well. They know their crowd, and
hmm
this is one that will not make, like, we're not going to sell this out, but it's going to do fine, and it'll do well digital
hmm
and everything. And sure, what the hell, go for it. Like,
yeah.
they understand this has to be a last hurrah and
Oh yeah.
everything.
I liked that Eric Andre was in it. That was cool
Yeah.
in the trailer. It was a shame to not see Bam. I know he's going through a lot, and he obviously got kicked off the set, right?
Yeah, there was a
Uh,
whole mess with him. But,
I don't know the details, but I do know that he obviously struggles with addiction. So um, that sucks. That sucks. That was like the one, you know, uh, that was missing. That's still alive.
yeah.
So that sucked. But I don't know. It was cool to see Steve-O sober and ready to, get his teeth pushed in, I guess. But
The teeth that are the reason he stayed sober.
yes, exactly.
That like, I understand. Like, trust me, if anybody understands the whole idea of, like, nah, I can't go back to doing stupid stuff to ruin my teeth. I just spent a crap ton of money getting these things fixed and having these brand new, what's his joke? Like, his new $1 million teeth or whatever,
Yeah.
and he just gets them knocked out. And I was like, you dumbass.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh well,
But
it's
yeah, man, it was cool. It looked like Jackass. So
it did. Like, you
yeah.
can't ask for anything other than that. It's like, you are getting what you sign up for.
Yep. Yep.
So power to them. They found it in them to make one more, and I feel like these guys know enough to say, you know what, this is it. This is the last one.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not interested, but power to them. Like, rock on, have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
It only hurts themselves, so
Right.
go
Right.
for it.
That bear at the end too. Like, what
Holy
are they
hell.
thinking? Ugh. Yeah.
But did you see the trailer for *Malignant*, the new James Wan film?
I don't. New James Bond film?
Wan.
Oh no, 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 no.
It's interesting. It's one. It starts off looking kind of weird, and then it takes a weirder kind of left turn. It's I'm curious now, because I knew nothing about it. Like, there wasn't anything about it. It was like, James Wan made
Okay.
a new horror film. It's called *Malignant*, and it
Oh,
comes out in October. Okay, and then the trailer dropped yesterday, and
I have not seen this. Oh my God.
yeah, it's a I'm not gonna talk about it a whole lot, but it's interesting. It's
I have it playing now on quietly,
Yeah,
but yeah, it looks spooky.
it's different. because you get to a point where you're just like, oh, okay, it's about this, and then here in a minute, as you're watching it, you're gonna find out, no, it's not exactly about that.
Oh, okay.
And it takes that kind of turn, and you're just like, oh, well, now it's okay. Well, now I've set up, the actual conflict of everything, and so what looks like it starts as maybe just this sort of, detective thriller, sort of crime movie. You see it suddenly takes that sharp twist into more of like a horror thriller, and I'm curious now. I'm actually really kind of looking forward to those.
Oh yeah.
But it's James Wan and horror, so I'm in. Like
Oh yeah.
that's all you ever have to say to me is, hey, James Wan made a horror movie. Cool, let's watch it.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Exactly.
I'm
Oh
I'm
yeah.
absolutely down.
Yep.
In the same vein of horror, we finally got the full Halloween Kills trailer, and
Yep. I saw that one.
that looked awesome. Like I the thing that sucks is that we already know there's going to be one more after this, so there's not going to be a whole lot of conflict resolution in this one. But
Yeah, that's true.
it'll still be good. The enjoyment is in the details. So I loved the reboot sequel, whatever you want to call it, from 2018. I think it was 2018. That basically just ignored literally every movie except for the first one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought, all right, cool. You know what? This is how they want to do it. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm all for it, and it was really good. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to this.
Yeah.
We got a trailer for The Many Saints of Newark, and it's young Sopranos. What do you want? Like
Yep.
that's it.
It looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his kid looks fantastic.
Oh yeah.
It's when they cast him, there was a part of me that just kind of went, well, it's a little bit stunt casty,
Yeah.
but you watch a trailer and you're like, oh no, he's good.
Yeah.
He's very good. So
Yeah. It looks good.
and it's got to be tough for him. That's got to be a hard
Oh
thing to
yeah.
do. Hey, you're playing a young version of this character that your dad played. May he rest
Mhm.
in peace. And it's just whew, that's got to be heavy. That's got to
Yeah.
be a heavy thing to carry.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, that looks good. It got me interested in watching The Sopranos, and that's an ongoing struggle because I've got 4 different things I'm trying to watch all at one time.
What are you trying to watch?
I'm trying to watch The Sopranos. I'm trying to watch. I'm also just trying to watch movies. I need to watch the Fear Street trilogy on
Ah, I
Netflix.
saw the first one.
I've heard they're good.
Yeah, they're good. Much better than I thought it was gonna be.
There we go. That's kind of the consensus that I've been seeing. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
that's enough for me. I'm good with that.
There's my only negative I would say about it is you have to suspend disbelief in horror movies a lot.
Yeah.
But in this, maybe it's just because of like over the last like couple of months, I've been watching a lot of Hassan Piker on Twitch, right? And his whole thing is politics, but a lot of the times he watches like criminal study cases and stuff like that. I think the videos he watches are called JCS or something like that. They are essentially a murderer sit down and they're interrogated, and it's real cases, and you see what the detectives do and everything else. And maybe it's just because I've been watching that the last couple of months, and like what all goes through that, the details with the cops and everything else. And then I watch a movie and like murder happens, and they're just like, I'm not talking to you, officer. And the cop's like, you better. And they're like, I'm going home. We'll see you later. And it's like, what? There's points where I'm like, it's almost as like a child's point of view of like, if you get in trouble and you just, we'll get you next time. There's just, and I'm exaggerating, of course, but there's moments in it where, and I'm not ruining anything, because that's not exactly how the movie goes, but there's just scenes in it where I'm like, they're not reacting the way normal people would react. normal cops, normal people in crazy situations where shit goes down.
Yeah.
It's like they just move on to the next scene. Does that make sense? As
Yeah.
if nothing happened. Usually horror movies are contained in an area where you can't have law enforcement. You can't have other things getting in the way. And so there you don't even have to suspend disbelief. It's like, okay, they can't get out of the house. They literally have no help. But in this movie, I'm just like, how many crazy things are going to happen? And then just, nothing happens. They're just like, oh, whoopsie. I don't know. That was my only complaint about it is it's fun, it's spooky. Or it's not spooky, but it's that I don't know. It's like Scream, I guess, where it's just you're in for the ride.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's my only complaint is you have to suspend some disbelief when it comes to and some of the characters overreact in so many situations where I'm like, well, this is the main character. Why are they acting like And I'm thinking, am I really old now? And this is how teenagers always act?
That's a fair question.
But it's never been this obvious where it's like their mood just goes from 2 to 11 real quick. And I'm like, what just happened? Why is she screaming? I don't know. Those are my only complaints. And I hate that I talked about the complaints more than the things that I liked, but I don't want to ruin anything in the movie.
Right.
There's if you like slasher movies, horror movies, things going splat and slice and whatever, you'll like this. Yeah. So it has all those fun things for a horror movie.
Yeah.
But I had to suspend disbelief a little bit more than normal. But I guess these are young adult books, right?
Yeah, but they're a different take on them.
They're R.L. Stine, right? Or
Yes, but I think they're. I want to say that I think that they're not exactly adaptations of them.
okay, gotcha. Yeah, I saw they want to do a whole verse of this. Like apparently they want to do multiple series where they all kind of interconnect.
Yeah,
Which is cool.
because because I don't think these were as R rated as the books weren't as R rated as the movies are. I think.
Oh, okay, okay. There's also a trope in this that I don't like, and we can talk about it once you've seen it,
Okay.
where um the antagonist, I'll say that. It's just such a trope where I'm like, are we doing this again? But who knows? I have a feeling in the second and third one, it's going to subvert my expectations. It's going to be like, that's what we wanted you to think, but here's what happened. So that's cool. I guess the first one's the 90s, the second one's the 70s, and the third one is way back in time. So
It's 80s and 70s, I think.
well, I thought it was okay. Maybe I didn't understand the.
Yeah, no, the first. Oh no, it is 94. I thought it was 84. It's 94. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
What's the third? What time period is the third one in?
1666.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's I have a feeling where it's going. I hope they subvert my expectations because I'm like, well, this is. So I don't know. I don't want to say anything because you haven't seen the first one.
Right.
Once you see the first one, then I'll feel way more comfortable talking about it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I don't think I spoiled anything by saying cops are dumb in this. So I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes art imitates life.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that's a trope from like Scream and everything else where they're just like,
yeah, I mean,
what?
Yeah, Deputy Dewey was not a Mensa member. Like he was,
right.
You loved him, but God, he was dumb. He just
exactly. Yeah, but it's like every cop in this. They're just like, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's just, I'm like, how many crazy things are gonna happen, and they're just like, oh, we'll get them next time. Like what? I don't know.
Yeah. Fun times.
Yeah.
But I wanna watch those. I'm trying to. What are the other things? I still want to catch up on Attack on Titan. I'm only through season 2, so I know I've got a ways to go. And I started watching Kuroko's Basketball on Netflix, and that's been fun. If you're looking for a good anime that's not kind of our usual fare, I I find myself enjoying sports animes. And that to me, like that was just an unexpected thing to me. Like I love it, but I never would have guessed that in a million years.
Yeah, you've been watching sports anime for a while now, right?
I started with well, because this was the one that I was originally supposed to watch, but I didn't know what it was called, so I watched the wrong basketball anime first.
Oh,
I
okay.
watched a Hiro no Sora first,
Mm.
and however much of it was available at the time, which was only like one season because that's all they've made, I think. And so I was like, oh, okay. And I said, but I got like halfway through what was up and figured out like, oh, this isn't the one that I thought it was. But I was enjoying it anyway, so I finished up what's out there, and then started Kuroko's basketball. And now, because I was flipping through music on Spotify, and was just going through different playlists with anime openings and everything, because they're mostly always just massive up kind of tracks. And I was looking for more to just annoy the hell out of the people at the pizza place where it's my kitchen, it's my music, it'll be in whatever language I feel like. I was looking for more upbeat stuff and found one of the openings from Haikyuu, which is a volleyball anime. And I was like, all right, this thing slaps. This has to be the next show I watch.
Yeah, I just looked up a list top 10 sports anime, and that's the number one.
Yeah,
Number two is the basketball
is
one.
Kuroko's basketball. It's really good. It's really good. If you've got time to check something out, you will not be disappointed.
Cool.
And it's it follows your standard anime path, and it's why I liked A Hero no Sora, which is on Peacock of all places, because that's the kind of anime where it's you find out real quick going into it. They've all got heart, they've all got passion, they're all going to play their best and grow as people and lose every time.
That's great.
And that's what's great about it, is that it's not your standard like we're gonna put our hearts into it and we're gonna triumph and then yay they win the thing, because that's always what happens, and we still love that anyway. But it was really fun to watch one where it's like, and we put our heart into it and we got beat by 30 points, and it's not even close.
Oh yeah.
But it's so much more about the character journey, more or less individually, than it is about the idea of oh my god, if they don't win these different basketball tournaments, then their lives are going to fall apart. No, it's not about that. It's not
Yeah.
really about that. And I was like, oh, okay, I dig it. Like I like it.
Hell yeah.
But no, if you're looking for something to watch, Kuroko's basketball is actually really good, and it clips, like it just keeps clipping right along.
Oh, okay.
There's not there's maybe one episode here and there that you could argue might be filler, but when it's just one episode, I don't consider it filler. It's because you get TV shows that do that all the time, where it's like, and here's this flashback episode. Okay,
Right,
cool,
right,
and
right.
it ties into everything. It's at least mildly necessary. You probably could have done without it, but you're kind of glad you had it. When
Yeah.
it's a whole arc or something, that's when it's filler. But
Yeah.
this doesn't have that. So it's like, so if you're in the mood for something, that's you could do worse.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, been watching more and more. I've been trying to get just back into anime in general, but it keeps winding up being sports anime. But like I said, you could do worse. But and
Yeah.
I've been reading Demon Slayer, and I've
Oh.
been reading the manga, because for whatever reason, reading comics or manga at like when I need to go to sleep, it helps make me tired. I can
Oh
sit
yeah.
there and read a book, and I'll just read clear through the night. But for whatever reason, and I noticed this when I was in Orlando, it happened when I was reading DMZ the first time. I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna lay down, I'm gonna read some of this, and then I'm gonna go to bed. And that was exactly what happened. And I was like, all right, well, that was kind of weird. But it happened. I don't know why when I do it with comics or something like that, it makes me sleepy.
Yeah.
but not
Hey,
like a regular book. Like, I mean, I'll take it. It works and it
there you
helps.
go.
But like, it's just kind of weird. But so I knock out a few chapters of that a night, and
Hmm.
and it shows that like, damn, when they made the show and everything, they stuck to the manga. Like, that was fantastic.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
but so that's so slowly been kind of broadening my horizons that way a little bit. But
Yeah.
that's with what time I've had. That's what I've been doing. I haven't really been playing much.
Hmm.
I like I said, I do want to get back into 14 because I haven't touched it in a while, but I just haven't had the time.
Yeah. 14 has been fun, dude. It's been a blast. I've been having so much fun
Yeah,
with it.
uh,
Uh,
I'll get back there. I'll get
yeah.
back there. I had fun while I was playing, so I definitely will get back there at some
Hmm.
point. Um, let's see where trailers we covered this and that and we God, it's been so long we haven't even talked about the Shang-Chi trailer. Um,
Really?
yeah, that came out since the last time we did a show.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
It's been a bit. I I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. It
I
looks great.
It does. I want to know what Wong and Abomination are doing in an underground fight club. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. That was wild seeing Abomination there.
yeah,
Hell yeah,
and
dude.
it's crazy that that's Wong fighting him. Like, that's nuts to
Hmm.
me. Like, why? Where did this come from?
Yep. Yeah. It's a yeah. It's gonna be fun, I think.
Yeah. And that glimpse we got, like, that's Fin Fang Foom. You can't tell me otherwise. There's no
Hmm.
you can't convince me otherwise. There's no way. Um,
Yeah.
but it's like I'm excited for it. I'm more excited for Shang-Chi than I am the Eternals. Eternals is gonna be I think Eternals is gonna be a hard sell, and I know we had the trailer for that too and everything, but I don't know.
Ooh, I think the Eternals is gonna be great.
I don't disagree. I think I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of it, but I think in terms of hype, Shang-Chi's trailer did a better job. Eternals is like, okay, cool. Here's this, like, the Eternals trailer was interesting to us, but I'm trying to think of like a generic moviegoer. I don't think it hyped them up for it.
Yeah, it maybe in a weird way, and you're right. I think it's just us or people like us.
Yeah,
The Shang-Chi one, to me, it followed the same pattern of like cool guy, quirky stuff, crazy action, mysterious past. Like it felt like, okay, this feels like a Marvel movie, with some cool new characters. Where the Eternals didn't feel like a Marvel thing during the trailer.
agreed.
Maybe it was the look or the feel of it. It just felt different.
I completely agree.
Yeah, yeah. Where I felt like Shang-Chi was kind of like Ant-Man or something. Where I was like, okay, this is going to be a fun adventure, and it looks cool. It's introducing all these characters that people don't know about, because Shang-Chi's just not in the comics a lot. He's not, pushed up like everyone else is.
Yeah,
So that's cool. Same with the Eternals in a way, I guess. Eternals have never been popular. But there's a different look and feel to it where maybe that has to do with the director and the writing or whatnot, but that's what intrigued me about it. Is I was like, oh, this is something different.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real interested to see how Eternals does. Like, I know Shang-Chi is gonna do well because
Hmm.
that trailer is a hype trailer,
Right.
and that's what they're going for. All right, cool. Eternals is different, and I get, like, the trailer that they did fit the kind of movie that this is going to be and the kind of characters that they have. Like, everything. I get why they did what they did. It all makes perfect sense. It's
Right.
just going to be interesting to see how that all pays off.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Oh, you're right. I'm looking at the trailer. I didn't realize that was Wong in there. But he
Yeah,
does do he does do, you don't see his face, but you see him do the ring thing.
yeah.
That is
That's what's crazy. It's like
what?
if it had just been Abomination fighting, whoever, it's like, all right, cool. So when Abomination got out or broke out or whatever, this is how he makes his money. All right, fine, that makes sense. But the fact that it's Wong that he's fighting is like, now I'm interested. What the hell is going on here?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Holy crap! Hold on a second. Let me take a look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, wait, what's the actor's name? Actually, is Wong,
It's
right?
Wong. It's
Yeah,
because there's
he
two and I
was
get
in
them
Marco
confused.
Polo. Yeah. I mean, that's where I first really noticed him when he was in Marco Polo.
Yeah.
I know he was in stuff before that, but I felt like ever since then I've seen him in everything.
Yeah.
Martian, all the Annihilation, all the everything. Dude's a great actor. That got me even more hyped for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Benedict Wong.
Benedict Wong. That's it. Yeah, yeah.
So
Great
I
actor.
get him and BD Wong confused because their names are so similar.
Right, right, right.
BD Wong was the guy from the Jurassic franchise because he was in Jurassic Park as well as Jurassic World,
Yep, yep.
which is crazy to me. But all right, cool, do you, man? Awesome.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, the fact that it's Wong in that Fight Club, I was just like, all right, that's why. Why is Wong here?
Right. Yeah, that's interesting.
but
It really is.
but no, that's in September. Shang-Chi in September. So
Hmm.
looking forward to that. We got the trailer for Sing 2, which I'm excited for. I thoroughly enjoyed the first one. I'm not excited to work this one because kids movie at Christmas, but I'm excited to watch it. I am. The direction is kind of the only way they could go with it, but you know, I, I'm down for more of it. I'm in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I liked it. Opened up with Billie Eilish, and I never saw the first one, but I might have to watch. I might have to watch it.
It's good. I mean, it's by the numbers. You're not
Mhm.
nothing's really gonna jump out and surprise you, but it's a good movie, and the music is great.
The music,
The
right? Yeah,
performances are
that's
good.
where.
It's where we got because I mean Taron Egerton sings Elton John in this in Sing, and
Oh
that
well.
and that was where that started. And then they worked together on
Mm,
Kingsman: The Golden Circle, and it was like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna do an Elton John movie, and this kid's gonna now we know this kid's gonna play him.
yeah.
But no, definitely check that out. I'm sure it's streaming on something. I'd be surprised if it wasn't, but it's definitely worth checking out. It's also not a long movie, so that helps. But it does what it needs to do. It's not streaming on anything right now. Damn, that's a
It's
bummer.
I can get it for $3 on Amazon. It's
There
no
you go.
problem.
No, it's a good $3. It's
Yeah.
it's
I,
definitely worth the money for sure.
I never feel bad renting on Amazon now, even though it's going into Bezos' pockets, I guess. But uh, $3. There we go.
Yeah,
Easy peasy.
yeah. And it's what, like an hour and a little more than an hour and a half.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there you go. But no, definitely worth it. And on a slightly related but completely different topic, we got the trailer for Pig, which just I mean I really think only Nicolas Cage could have done this movie.
I hear he's getting a lot of praise for it.
I imagine he's really good in it. Like
Yeah.
that's you know the thing with Nicolas Cage is he is either on or off. There is no middle. And the problem with that is so many characters that he's done don't always have an on mode.
Hmm.
But, that's not how he's wired. So,
Yeah, I mean, all these articles. Pig remind us why Nicolas Cage endures.
yeah.
Like it's there's yeah. Where was it? I think that. Sorry, keep going.
But
Let's see. Rotten Tomatoes Pig. It was one of these sites that were like he had like 100%. Uh,
crazy. But, I
yeah,
mean, it's something that's very high drama, very intense. And I mean, that's kind of what he does all of the time. So,
yeah.
even if that's not what he's supposed to be doing.
It's got a 97 percent critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes. That's fucking bonkers.
That's wild. That's
Yeah.
very wild.
Critics seem to really like this movie.
Yeah. And I mean that's how it's gonna go. It's gonna be that kind of movie because it is sort
Mhm.
of that art house ish kind
Yeah.
of film. Um,
Yeah. Audience is 83, which is good.
yeah.
So yeah, damn, that's definitely one to watch.
So that'll be interesting. But yeah, that trailer was intense.
I didn't see the trailer. I only saw the beginning of it muted while you were talking.
Yeah.
Looks like it's a truffle pig or something.
Yeah. And it comes out. Is it? Where is it? Is it already? Is it already out?
Well, people are seeing it.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, did it get a wide release or what? Did they
Yeah,
stagger the release?
I'm not sure.
I think it's already out. I think it is already in the world.
Okay.
Um, I'm a little surprised because we didn't get it, but it is out there. Okay, cool. So well, go see Pig if it's playing near you.
Yeah.
Uh, Bummer. All right. Hopefully they'll expand it. They may expand the release this week, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Um, and the other trailer that I didn't know was a thing they were doing until they said it was a thing they were doing is a Scooby Doo Courage the Cowardly Dog crossover.
Yeah. How about that?
Because that's, sure, why not?
Why not?
is you could do worse. You could certainly do worse. But
Yeah.
that's a thing.
Yep.
But, anywho, some very long in the offing news. They're starting production on a movie next month. They are finally beginning filming on Clerks 3
Cool.
after how many years and how many
Right.
drafts. Lionsgate picked up I don't know which set of distribution rights it was. I don't know if it was international or domestic. But that was the green light. That was the money to finally get it made.
Okay.
Because I mean, Kevin's had scripts and had ideas and everything forever for Clerks 3, and finally it was like, all right, cool. Here's the money, kid. Go make your movie. So we are finally going to get Clerks 3. I'm very, very excited and very happy for Kevin. Kevin is one of those who just seems like a legitimately good guy.
Yeah.
I'm always happy when he does well.
Oh yeah.
The Blade movie seems to have found its director, Bassam Tariq, who did Mogul Mowgli. Which, again, it's like you look at it and go, who? And I go, yeah, that's the point. Let's do it. Like I love when they bring in people I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I like seeing the established names and this and that, but I really, really enjoy when it's like, nah, trust me, you've never heard of this guy, but he's really good and he really caught people's eye, so he's gonna do this movie. Awesome, or she, whoever. It's like awesome. Let's do it. New blood, fresh. Terrible, terrible joke because it's Blade, but bring in the fresh takes. Let's do it. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
We have casting news for Knives Out 2. Apparently, everybody is in this movie. Okay, set photos came out, and it's like, hey, is that Ethan Hawke? Yeah, it's Ethan Hawke. They hadn't announced him. Oh, there he is. Cool, Ethan Hawke's in the movie. Is there anybody that's not in this freaking movie?
Right. Saul
Anybody at
Batista
all?
is right.
Yeah. It's just,
It's great.
there's nobody not in this movie. We got other news. John Wick 4 started production.
Cool.
Very hyped, very hyped. They added Hiroyuki Sanada to the cast.
I saw that they are making the spin-off, The Continental, a 3-part series.
Yeah, because they've been kicking that idea around since John Wick 2.
Yeah.
And it was going to be a series at USA, and that decided not to go forward. Then I think it was going to be at Stars at one point, and it decided not to go forward. And now they've got a new director attached, and his vision for it is a 3-part miniseries of 90-minute a piece episodes.
And that makes sense. Like, I think the biggest complaint people had about the Snyder cut was like, this would have been great as like episodic.
Yeah.
Like, just release it as a miniseries. And so there you go. If you got enough material, don't make someone sit down for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Just split it up. There you go. Just like Fear Street, prime example.
Yeah.
Like, that works.
Well, the idea originally for the Snyder Cut was it was going to be a miniseries.
Right. They should have done that.
Yeah. And then they scrapped it at the 11th hour and were like, no, it's going to be a movie.
Yeah.
But I do like, though, how it very clearly still has episode breaks.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, no, this is, part 2. All right, well, we can stop here. Like, that's fine. We got 2 bits of Indiana Jones 5 news. They have added Antonio Banderas to the cast, which is always good. I love Antonio Banderas. I don't care.
Yeah.
He's just gotten funnier as he got older. His role in Expendables 3 was hysterical. He was great. And he's from what I've heard, he's also very, very good in Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. So
okay.
I'll take, but give me more Antonio Banderas. Absolutely, I'm in. And of course, because it's a Harrison Ford film, he hurt himself. So
yep.
he hurt his shoulder doing something, because of course he did.
Yeah.
So it's news, but it's not a surprise. We love Harrison Ford, but damn, he keeps hurting himself on set.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Between that and small plane crashes, like just stop,
just
sir. We love you. We want you to be around for a long time.
You're doing too much.
Snow White cast its the live action Snow White cast its Snow White, and it's Rachel Zegler from the upcoming West Side Story adaptation.
Oh, okay.
And the backlash, I'm sure, will be as nuanced and respectful as it ever is when somebody not white is cast in a leading role. But I'm all for it. We got a new take on The Little Mermaid. I'm down for a new version of Snow White. Like, I don't, these fairy tales were written hundreds of years ago. Change them up. Go ahead. Go for it. I don't care. Like this, these are not hills I am even remotely willing to fight on. I say move the hills. Like, let's do it.
Wait, people are upset about this?
I
just looked her up. She looks exactly like Snow White.
People are always going to be angry.
Or at least the Disney one. That's the one they're comparing it to.
Yeah, they're always going to be angry.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Okay.
But people are angry. People will always find something to be angry about. It's not a sign, Mm-hmm. I don't care. I remember there was mild backlash, and it was just random, because internet. When there was an anime and a manga that was called Snow White with the Red Hair. And just the idea of Snow White with red hair freaked people out. I was like, man, y'all need to just...
That's so dumb.
Like, y'all need Jesus. Like, just chill.
But here's the thing. Like, I completely agree with you. And normally when I look at this, I go, oh yeah, that actor doesn't look like what Hollywood has presented that character as for however many years.
Yeah.
But she looks just like Snow White. They don't even have that argument.
Yeah.
That's what doesn't make any sense to me.
It's
like that's what's bonkers to me. It's crazy that people would be upset if like they casted anyone in the role of Snow White that deserves it. But where I look at this, I'm like, I don't even understand their argument whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because it legit looks like Snow White, so that's so dumb.
It's because I think she's half Colombian, I believe. I think one of her parents is I'm pretty sure it's Colombian.
Yeah, but Snow White, I mean, oh my god. Okay.
I'm with you. I am 100%
Spanish
with you.
people have light skin. That's why I don't understand. Like, it's not completely different. I guess the animated version looks a lot lighter, I guess, but her face looks like Snow White. She's got like this small, petite little face. I don't know. Maybe I'm being weird, but it's just, to me, when I see her face, I'm like, that looks like Snow White. I don't get it.
No, man. Like I said, I'm with you. But
Yeah,
people are gonna panic because why wouldn't they?
exactly. Yeah,
They're,
it's
they're doing so little with their own lives. But
yep. I'm sure this has been on Fox News already.
oh, I'm sure.
Yep. Yep.
Probably a picture of her wearing a mask at some point.
They're more concerned about this than Texas wanting to take "I Have a Dream" out of the schools, but
Yeah,
whatever.
and don't tell people the Klan were immoral. That's wrong.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right. 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 It's so
I'm
crazy.
sorry. Look, if your position is actively saying you can't say that the Ku Klux Klan is morally wrong, you're a racist. Period.
Yeah.
End of
Yeah.
story. There's no argument. Like
Yeah.
that's
Just accept it. Just know it and hopefully change.
yes.
For that's what we all want. We want you to change, but like, what the fuck? It's crazy.
Like that's like I'm not even sorry about that one. Like
No,
that's
not at
just
all. It's no, that's not. It's not controversial. That's not a controversial statement.
no, but well, neither did the phrase Nazis are bad. Like that didn't used to be a
Right,
controversial thing. You know.
right, right. Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay. Speaking of things that ruin everything else, the new Transformers movie is going to include some Beast Wars lore. So
Let's go.
say goodbye
That's
to that.
exciting.
That's not exciting. This isn't a.
That's exciting.
If it was a spin-off that Michael Bay had nothing to do with, I'd say, all right, let's go. This is a mainline movie that he's going to be all over. He already screwed up the Dinobots, which how in the hell do you screw up the Dinobots? But he did.
Yep.
So yes,
I thought they were going a good direction with Bumblebee, but it looks like you're going back to.
Because Bumblebee was a spin-off, it was its own thing. This is going to have nothing to do with that. This is back to the main movie line.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, the new Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Cool. So they were like, what other toys haven't we screwed up yet? Hey, you guys, you remember how much you loved Beast Wars, right? Yeah, it's gonna be a new Transformers movie. Oh, cool, like Bumblebee was, because Bumblebee was good. No, it's gonna be the main series with Michael Bay.
Yeah.
No, please,
Yeah.
no. We don't want that. We don't want that. Stop making movies. Go back to the spin-offs. The spin-offs were good. No, the spin-off. There's only been one, but that's the problem. There's only been one. There should be more because that one was really good.
Yep. I agree.
But they've wrapped filming on the Borderlands movie.
Okay.
So all the filming is done. Now it's going to be in post-production for, a year before it comes out. There's a lot of effects to do, man. There's a lot of post going to be on a movie like this.
Oh yeah.
But that's the business anymore, especially on something this scale and this sci-fi and everything. But anyway, there's something coming in November that nobody knew was a thing and nobody knew that anybody was asking for, but I'm definitely going to be there to watch it. Rocky IV, the director's cut.
Okay.
I mean, if you're going to do a director's cut of a Rocky movie, that would be the one to do, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so that's coming to theaters in November. So be on the lookout for that.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a title for Aquaman 2. It's going to be it's Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be disappointing employment for Amber Heard still. So I'm forever gonna be salty, man.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. James Wan doing a sequel. James Wan does not do sequels, even of his own things.
Well, he does.
Not
Fast and Furious. He didn't do it.
Did he do more than one Fast and Furious movie? No?
Yeah, he did 3, right? He didn't do anyone after 3.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he directed 7. He directed a couple of them, right?
No, that's Justin Lin.
Hold on,
I
James
think.
Wan.
What did he do? Now, as a director, not as a producer, but as a director, what did he do?
All right. All right, hold on.
Because he directed Saw, but he didn't do any of the sequels.
He
He
did he did Conjuring 2.
I did direct
Um,
Conjuring 2. All right, that's fair.
yeah, he did Fast and Furious 3, Fast and Furious 7. Um,
No, he didn't direct Tokyo Drift.
no, I'm sorry, he did 7.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he
sorry,
just did.
sorry.
He just did Furious 7.
You're right. He did Saw 3. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. He
Yeah,
doesn't really do sequels.
because he directed Saw. He has a story credit on Saw 3. He directed Insidious. He directed The Conjuring. I did direct. Okay, so the only sequels that it looks like he's done, he did The Conjuring 2 and Insidious Chapter 2. So
Yes.
those are the only two actual sequels that he did.
Right.
Um, and he was a producer on a bunch of stuff, but he,
Yeah.
but it's sad. So he doesn't usually do sequels.
Right.
Fair enough. He did more than I thought he did, but sad. But we'll see. But so we'll skip over into TV news. They finally have settled the Walking Dead lawsuit that's been going on forever.
Oh my God.
Yeah, with Frank Darabont and AMC and the whole thing about who didn't get paid for what, who doesn't have rights for what, and all of that stuff. It basically ended with him getting $200 million.
Oh my God. That's a paycheck.
Yeah, yeah, that is a take that money and retire paycheck.
Yeah.
But it's that, and there was a twist in who has what sort of, like, it got real technical, and usually I enjoy this stuff, but everything that I saw was just a slog of the legalese and everything.
Mm.
But there were changes to the rights and something else. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Because this thing started in 2013. That was when this lawsuit was filed. And this has been going on forever and a day.
Yeah.
It was about the revenue sharing of reruns and streaming and all that kind of stuff. And it was for The Walking Dead and for Fear the Walking Dead.
Okay.
They carved out a whole lot of everything, but also basically, like, this is the end of it. This is now done.
Okay.
But the other one that, because I forgot that Kirkman also sued them over the same kind of thing. That fight is still happening. They're still in court over that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but so that's, I don't know what's going on with Kirkman's lawsuit, but we'll see how that plays out.
Okay.
Did you see the Star Wars Visions trailer?
I did. It looks good.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
As soon as they announced it, it's like, we're doing a bunch of anime inspired shorts for Star Wars. And I was like, all right, cool, bet. Let's see what they look like. And now we see what they look like.
Yeah, it looks so different.
They announced a Good Omens season 2.
Cool.
Which is interesting because Good Omens was a book and it ended, and the show followed the book and it ended. And
interesting.
My favorite comment was, somebody said, "But wait a minute, so what are they going to do? Just make everything up?" And Neil Gaiman responded with, "That was how I wrote the book."
Right, exactly.
Don't come for Neil Gaiman, man. You will lose. Don't.
Wait, are they gonna have to write things?
Yeah, right. What are the odds?
How does this work?
But I'm all for it. I enjoyed Good Omens. The adaptation was really good, so I'm bring on season 2. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
There is a Supernatural prequel series about John and Mary Winchester, about the parents. Cool. And Jensen Ackles is going to narrate it. So that's a thing that's happened. This is the third spin-off series that they'll have tried. And maybe this one will actually stick.
Yeah.
Who knows? Did you see? Oh yeah, you did. You saw the Masters of the Universe Revelation trailer. and it looks fantastic.
Looks great.
It does.
Yeah, that starts Friday, right?
Yeah. Oh God, it does. It really does. I forgot
Yep.
all about that.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I love it. They were like they gave Kevin Smith a property he was really excited about, and what do you know? He made something good.
Yep.
Who would have ever guessed? And that
Right.
voice cast is ridiculous. Like check out that Wikipedia page. It's wild.
Oh yeah.
This was news I didn't know was going to be a thing. Square Enix is developing an animated series based on Final Fantasy IX.
Yep.
Like that's
Crazy.
like I'm here for it, but I never expected to see that. Like at all. That was just news that was like, oh, somebody played Mad Libs, didn't they?
Yeah.
But I'm down. 9 was a big, wide open, real fun world, so I say let's do it.
Yep.
And they started production on season 10 and 11 of Letterkenny.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited. Bring on more.
Oh yeah.
We've got, E3 happened while we were off, but that was like a month ago. Everybody knows, like all this stuff's coming out. We got all
Yeah.
kinds of big things.
I think Elden Ring looked the most interesting to me.
I will go on record and say right now, I think that game's going to be a massive disappointment.
Really?
I do. I really do.
You're crazy.
I am. I'm fully aware that I am in the absolute minority opinion on this. I'm okay with that. I want to be wrong.
Sick.
I want to be wrong, and I want this to be awesome. I think this is going to be just a very big, more dense narrative Souls game, and it's not going to be particularly fun, much like Game of Thrones wound up being. I think this. I don't think it's going to be. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I don't think it's going to be bad. But I think not only will it not live up to all the hype, I think it's also going to be okay. That's it. I think it's going to wind up. It's going to wind up being slightly better on this scale than Avengers wound up being. Avengers wound up being fine. It wasn't great, and it certainly didn't live up to the hype. I think Elden Ring is going to come in just above that. I don't think it's going to be this magnificent thing that everybody wants it to be.
I completely disagree. I think the people that love those kind of games, like this, it looks so good. It's like they took all the stuff from those games and made it way more interesting. The boss fights, they look crazier than before. It's a little bit open world, and this has been in the making for years. I will go on the record as saying people are going to be playing this game for a very long time, just like they do the Souls games, just like they do Bloodborne. These games have such a long time span of people playing them, where they go back and they try to do speed runs and stuff like that. I think Elden Ring, the look, the aesthetic, dude, I got even so hyped for it. Did you see the video I put the song in?
Mm-hmm.
Like it looks so good. Yeah, I think this game is going this. Out of all these games they showed, I think this by far will be one of the biggest ones that come out. I mean, what were people talking about after E3 besides Elden Ring?
I mean, no, that was pretty much it, and I understand. I absolutely do.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking at all these list of games, and it's all the same things. It's all these. It's sequel 2, 3, 4, 5, Rocksmith, Starfield. Starfield looks cool. You would think Starfield would be the big one people talk about, but they didn't really show anything.
How did Bethesda out Bethesda themselves by having a glitchy trailer?
Yeah.
How do you
Exactly.
There's the part where they show like the outside of the rover and that robot is walking by. The robot glitched. And I went back and I have watched it back since on different streams because I thought, no, please, that has to be just my stream. I've gone back and watched it since. It glitched. How did Bethesda out Bethesda themselves? How?
Yep.
It's like our games are so glitchy that even our CG trailers are glitchy. How did you do that? Just
Well,
how?
apparently it's in-game footage, or in-game engine, but I don't know. I don't really believe it.
I believe it's in-game engine, but it's not going to be how the footage plays. The cutscenes are always prettier.
Right, exactly.
I honestly, coming out of E3, the things that I am surprisingly most excited for, Redfall looks really cool. The vampire Left 4 Dead-ish kind of game. That looked really cool. Forza Horizon 5, because I'm a huge Forza Horizon fan. I love it. Not so much the main series, because I don't like sim racers all that much. Horizon is a little more arcadey, and I love it. Like I love that series. And Rocksmith Plus. I cannot wait for Rocksmith Plus.
Rocksmith Plus looks good.
I am legit very, very, very hyped for that. Everything else was like, all right, this is all kind of cool. Like, I mean, Psychonauts 2 is a thing, awesome. Battlefield 2042 has no single player, pass.
That looks sick though.
It looks great. I'll never play it.
Yeah. But I want Battlefield to do good. I want competition with Call of Duty, and it looks fun as hell.
Yeah. But it's Black Ops 4 all over again. It's like, well, if you do some of these little tiny things, you'll have some sort of a single player-ish kind of mode. Nah, pass. I'm out. It's just not for me. Like, it'll do great and it looks awesome. I'm happy for people who are happy for it. Rock on. It's just not for me.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I talk about I like single player games, when it comes to those first person shooters, I feel all I play is a multiplayer with my brother.
Yeah.
But they feel good, especially Call of Duty. It just feels good. But I don't know. When I saw the trailer, I was like, that looks rad. I'll definitely get it. I've been playing Battlefield since 1942, so I'll be getting it.
I hate that. I hate that a lot. Thank you. But
yep.
And Sony had a little bit of extra news. After the fact, 'cause obviously they weren't at E3. They did a state of play, but it was, it was a lot of Deathloop. It was a lot of indie titles, and that was cool because they said ahead of time, hey, this is what's going to be about, and that's what it was about. And then people got upset because it wasn't about other things, and it's just proof you can't please everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
I think people are just upset there's no Sony news during E3.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Like they make their own schedule. They've got games coming out. We have the Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut edition coming out August 20th.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that. I love that it's a $20 upgrade.
Yeah.
If you already own the game, like, I'm in.
I'm wondering if anyone feels the same way I do about my PlayStation. Why did I buy it? Like, I've been thinking about that. I've been on my computer the last month or so, and I have not touched my PlayStation.
I'm not. I love it. So
yeah, that's what, like, I'm just curious if there's anyone else out there that's like, I don't have a reason to turn this on.
I think that I don't think anybody really wants to answer that question because they probably don't. They're probably just playing the slightly upgraded PS5 versions of PS4 games right now.
Right. That's what I feel like. And I have it because I felt like I needed to get it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, God of War will be out. Miles Morales looks cool. But, like, I legit I've had no reason to turn it on. And I thought, maybe it's because I just own a PC. But I thought, am I the only one that's like, maybe, I don't know. It's been how long has it been? It's November it came out?
Yes. Something like that.
Yeah, so we're not at a year just yet. So I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe I jumped the gun with it. Maybe I should have waited. I don't know. It's still real hard to get, right?
Fair. They just restocked on Amazon, but
they did?
They're probably gone by now. But
yeah.
Yeah, I saw it on Warriors Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, PS5 up on Amazon. This was an hour or so ago. Oh yeah, I'm sure they're very gone by now.
The bots are still grabbing them, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Or is it gone? Is it still gone? Yeah, I think it's gone.
Oh yeah, no, it goes within seconds. When I tried to get my brother's one a couple months ago, it was just literally impossible. I had to put it in the cart for Best Buy, and I couldn't buy it. We had to wait until Best Buy restocked it again, and I got an alert on my phone. I went to Best Buy. It was in the cart. I was able to purchase it then for him.
Yeah.
And that was the only way I could get it. But
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. Like, I kind of wish I never spent the money on it and waited, because I could have used that for everything else, bills and whatnot. But I feel like it's been a little underwhelming. I've had no reason to turn it on except talk to people. But everyone that I know is kind of going to PC anyway. Oh, real fast, can we talk about the Steam Deck?
Oh yeah, let's the Switch Pro that's not from Nintendo.
Yes. And here's the thing. I doubt I'll get this thing. I really want it. I'll say that. I'll say if somehow, and what's cool is you can actually buy it. This was genius. This was absolute genius. The way they sold this is you can get 3 different models. I think it starts at what, $400, and then it goes to 600.
Yeah.
But for the base model or any of them, you can go on Steam right now and pre-order it, and it tells you what quarter you're going to get it in. And the way they do this is they do a $5 pre-order. You have to have an active Steam account. And if you've been active for a while, it's like instant. You can do it. I think if it's a new Steam account, you can't. So this is how they get around botters.
Fair.
So this is how it's like, oh, I've had Steam since Steam has existed. And, I went in there and put $5 down. Now, I doubt I'll get it. But every time I look at it, I love that it'll play every Steam game right now.
Yeah.
Every Steam game you'll own, including Final Fantasy. It'll also play most games from your PC because you can install Windows on it. So you can play your Blizzard games. You can play your Epic Game Store games. You can play your Xbox games. You can play your Xbox Game Pass games. You can play your GOG games. You can play the World of Warcraft on it if you wanted to. You just got to map the buttons.
Yeah.
That's how wild that is. Like the fact that in Steam, I mean, anyone that's had Steam for a while, you have probably a giant library. There's so many Steam sales. I have such a backlog of games that I haven't played or haven't played in forever that it would actually be worth getting. It's like, imagine if they were like, hey, we're going to come out with a Switch and every Nintendo game you've ever purchased will be on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, imagine that. So that's kind of what the Steam thing is. Any game you've ever purchased, it's there. Left 4 Dead 2, it's there. Mortal Kombat 11, it's there. Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, it's there. Baldur's Gate 3, it's there. So on and so forth. Skyrim, all that's there. And Steam is such a vast library. And what's cool is you can plug it into your monitor. You can use it literally as like a Switch does. Plug it in your monitor, your keyboard, your mouse, you're good to go.
Yep.
It's got all those plugs in it, and Bluetooth and everything else. But it's a cool little machine. I like that it's got the 2 trackpads below the sticks. I love the placement of everything on there. It looks great. It's got an OLED screen. It's basically a tiny computer you hold in your hands. It's way more powerful than the Switch. And yeah, dude, it's I don't know. It's one of those things though, but because Valve notoriously fucks up its hardware rollout. So who knows? Who knows if this will be dead in a year? But it looks, dude, it looks too good to be true.
Remember, this isn't even the first console that Steam has put out.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
We all remember the Steam box.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So look, I'm all for it. I think this is the way to do something like this. I think looking at the Switch and saying, yes, we need to do that, but more high performance, was exactly the right thing for Valve to do when it came to Steam. I absolutely think that was the way to go. Because the idea of a Steam console was always met with the question of, but I have a PC. Like, that's, like, a Steam console was kind of that thing of, like, you would do it because you could, but maybe you shouldn't do it. But something like this, I think the portability idea of it, the idea of this being just a beefy Switch
Yeah.
that plays that plays all of your Steam games, I think storage is going to be a problem. I think people are going to hit their storage limits so fast.
Oh, true, but you can. It also has where you can put storage in it.
Yeah, I I want this to do well because I would love for this to be the thing that comes out of left field and completely just rattles the system, like absolutely,
Yeah.
hands down. And that might actually get, and especially because everything is on Steam.
Everything.
But
You want to play Persona 5 and not come into the Switch? It'll be on Steam.
Yeah.
Along with Persona 4 and every other Persona game, or near all of these games that are just not on the Switch. You got it.
Yeah. And this is great for people like me because most games that are on Steam are also only on Windows.
Yeah.
So I'm
the new New World game. It's on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, I agree with you. It's going to fill up fast. I think $399 is the 64 gigabyte, but of course you can put your own storage in it, just like the Switch.
Yeah.
$529 is 256. It's got the SSD drive. It's fast storage, fast loading.
Yeah.
Same with the 512, which is 649, which comes. The main one with that is the anti-glare screen, but who needs that?
They make covers like that's
yeah. I think the sweet spot is the 529 just because of the fast loading or whatnot. But if you just want the base model and get an extended storage, $399. It's the price of a Switch.
Yeah, but you're gonna be paying as much for external storage anyway. You might as well get the 529.
Exactly. Might as well get the 529, and you still have the option to add more later. So, and I honestly see a lot of people using this for more indie games. Steam has so many indie games.
They do. Yeah, they do.
Just like the Switch. Yeah. If you're going to be playing it portably, you're going to want to play something pick up and go.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of those on there. Absolutely. So many. I mean, it was only until recently that Nintendo welcomed indie games the way it has. So there's so many games on there that you just, there's so many games that people I just think haven't experienced, like Phasmophobia. I don't even know if that's on PlayStation or anything else. The Ghost game.
Okay. Never
heard of this?
Nope.
Yeah. See, there's it's probably on everything else, but I haven't seen it on anything else. Phasmophobia is it's only on it is only on Steam. It's a game, you would love this, where you and 3 other people go into haunted houses and you have to figure out what kind of thing is haunting it, a spirit, and there's like all these different kinds of things that could be haunting the house.
Okay.
And what's cool is when you go into the house, it's voice active, like you have your headset on and it's voice whatever, so you're all talking to each other and you're trying to figure out what kind of thing is haunting this place. Is the temperature going down? Okay, then that leans more towards a ghoul or whatever. Oh, is I don't know, are the lights flickering, or all sorts of different things. You try and narrow down what kind of thing it is. Did we see it? Is it a blinking light, or is it a thing crawling on its back across the floor? And you're talking to each other, walking around, and it's also played. You can play this on the computer or in a VR headset.
Oh yeah, great, thanks. I don't need that nightmare fuel at all.
Yes. Oh yeah, and suddenly it gets really quiet and the music stops.
Yeah.
And then you hear tingling, and it's so fucking good because and then you try to figure out what it is, and you're screaming and think it's chasing you, or you're reading the book that it wants you to read, I don't know if it's the Bible or whatever it is. You're trying to yell at the spirit to confine it. You're setting up traps, you're setting up cameras. It's basically Scooby-Doo the video game. And when it kills you, you go into the afterworld, and you have to wait for your team to return. And then you see one by one the spirit hunt down your friends. And it's a really fun game. This is a huge game on Twitch because of how entertaining it is to watch
Oh, I'm
four
sure.
people, go crazy in a haunted house. But these are the experiences you're not getting on console for some reason. And you could get that on this, totally. You just plug in a headset.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by there's so many games that unfortunately people don't experience because it's not on a console, and Steam has them. So yeah, dude, it's so tempting. Recently I've been kind of like more concerned about money than I normally am. My mind's been more on I need to make extra money, I need to get a second job, I need to pick up, whatever. I know recently I saw that I've been thinking about doing like Amazon Flex or something where you just make your own hours. 4 hours, okay, I can make however much. Like I've been thinking about saving money, making money, and not spending money. So it was bad timing for this to
Yeah, and then Valve comes
be
along and
announced.
just goes, no, don't you forget, we always do things that make you spend your money.
Exactly. So it's been a roller coaster where I'm like, nope, that's probably something I do. That's not anything I need. So who knows? Down the road, I maybe get it. What's cool is if you put $5 down. I think if you do it now, it says Q2 of 2022.
Yeah, which is from April through June, July.
Yeah, which isn't
April,
bad.
May,
You'll
June.
get it
April,
in a
May,
year.
June. Yeah.
Yep. So some people are getting it Christmas time. Some people are getting it first quarter, and then a lot of other people are getting it now. But I love that. I love that. Now I know when I'm getting it. I don't have to freak out. I don't have to whatever. And it doesn't charge you until it ships it or whatever. So
Right.
it's tempting. It's tempting. It's very tempting. And I would recommend this to people who don't have a PC and have always kind of wanted
Yeah,
PC games.
I am considering it very much because there's
Yeah.
so much. I'm I miss the old Red Alert games. I would sit
Yeah.
and play it even today. I would sit and play Red Alert 2 for an hour easily just in one skirmish. No problem. But, there's not a lot available for Mac. It's just not. And
Yeah. I think they have Red Alert 3. They have it on Steam.
yeah. I consider it. I really would.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. It has all of the Command and Conquer
I was gonna say
games.
I think all of that stuff. Yeah,
I just looked and it has all of them.
yeah. Because 3 was one that they put on consoles, which is always bad. RTSs on consoles do not work.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just don't.
I mean, there's just Total War. Any of the Total War games.
Yeah,
They're just not on console. And the Warhammer ones are my favorite.
yeah. I'm gonna be interested to see how Age of Empires plays on Xbox.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Because you bet your ass I'm gonna be day one on that because it's gonna be Game Pass. But also I am very excited.
Yeah.
But we'll
And that's
see.
what's cool about this is you can literally you have the option of running Steam's OS or Microsoft's. And if you run Microsoft's, you can run all your Xbox games.
Yeah.
It's not guaranteed. Those aren't guaranteed to be, whatever. They guarantee the Steam games, but they basically said, hey, you can install Windows on this thing if you want to,
Yeah.
which comes along with Microsoft Game Pass.
Yep.
So it's very interesting. And if you already have like a monitor at your house, you just plug it in. Boom.
Yep,
there you go.
Done. All set
Perfect.
up, ready to go.
Yeah. You use your controller or keyboard.
So, I want this to be the game changer it wants to be. I really do. But
Yeah.
time will tell.
Yep.
But anyway, I think with that we pretty much covered it for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
hopefully you get to feeling better and your voice comes back and everything.
yes.
That is not
'Cause
fun.
We didn't talk about Loki, so we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, we'll do because that almost needs a whole thing just by
It does.
itself. Because holy crap! But
It does. My voice should be a lot better by then,
Yeah.
so perfect.
and that's I was watching Loki. I've got to catch up on the Bad Batch. I'm so far behind on Bad Batch, but it's also so good. But
It's so good.
so I got to catch up on that, and I have to try to find some sort of balance here. I got too much going on at once. I need to just put something aside and go, okay, I'm gonna focus on this. or I'm just gonna let go of that. But I know me, that's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
but 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 yeah, I think that'll do it for us this week. If you got a question, email us, wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, our group, We Geek Podcast. We're on Twitter, We Geek Podcast. We're on just about every podcast platform now. I think if you give me 3 seconds, I'll be able to tell you, because the one thing I've been trying to get us on forever, that's just never been happening, is Pandora. It's the one that we haven't been on. We've been on
Ah,
everything else, and I've been trying to get us on that. And it's so far I don't think we're on there yet, but we're submitted, and I've been emailing with their support and everything, and I'm trying to get us on there. But we're on everything else. We're on iHeartRadio, we're on TuneIn, we're everywhere. Apple, Google, you name it, we got it.
cool.
But so check us out there. Leave us reviews, comments. We'll try really hard to get back to doing this regularly.
Yeah.
You'll be feeling better. Hopefully, I'll get my schedule ironed out. But
Yeah.
anyway, so I'll see you next week, Captain.
Captain.